Okay, so quick video on veganism and Christianity. I was raised non-denominational Christian, which means just basically to be like Christ, practice the golden rule, and that's it. I'm not an atheist or a theist at the current moment. I'm just living my life, having my own experience. As far as veganism goes to Christianity, some people tell me that are Christian that those things are put on planet Earth for me to partake of, and that's honoring so-called a creator to eat those things. But I think that I believe I have free will. I have free will, and everyone else on planet Earth has free will, and I'm allowed to, because of that, enjoy that so-called creation in any way that I choose, and that's by respecting those things as other sentient beings on planet Earth. I think it's Genesis 1:28 through 30, or Genesis 1:29 through 30. It says, God gave us all seed-bearing plants for our use, for basically, that sustenance, as to use as meat or something like that, to use as meat. So I think that, but then you have things later, if I recall, or some people say that God gave us everything on the planet for, humankind's to use. But that means that I'm the one that, if somebody gives me a blanket, I can leave it in a pile on a bed, or I can fold it. Someone gave me the blanket. I appreciate the blanket. I appreciate the other sentient beings on planet Earth with me. So therefore, I make my relationship with those things. I have the brain in my head to make my relationship with those things one of peace. So, I just think that's my thing on that. I've had some people that were religious. Again, I'm not against religion. I'm not against Christianity. I'm not against, really, it's not, when somebody flies a plane through a building or does something in the name of a religion, I think it's that individual's gross inadequacy in their personal psychology with how they're relating to something, which causes them to misinterpret something and then use something as a weapon. It's like, you ever been really angry and you have a hammer, or I don't know, hammer's not a good idea. Maybe a knife, or you're driving a car and you do something that the car, the knife, or the hammer's not intended to do because you're angry. I think that's what happens with religion. It gets scapegoated often. And you have people that are really angry, or they're being deceived by, religious zealots, or just people that are sociopath or psychopathic, preying on people, or narcissistic, just preying on people, trying to get attention, they already have something wrong in their head, then they find religion, that gives them the next step to doing something, because they can kind of justify certain things and run it through the religious filter, and then people go, oh, well, he's a Christian, or he's he's a Muslim, or he's a Hindu, so it's okay, we're going to let it slide. And they kind of use that as a deceptive cover, I think, for a while. So I think religion gets a lot of scapegoating, a lot of stuff put on it. But it's not that. It's the person that's interpreting it that's doing it the wrong. But that's a whole other story. So animals, I think that they are, in my opinion, I have free will, so I can relate to animals however I choose. And I choose them to have as friends, basically, like I like cats, dogs, any sort of animal, really. And I don't think they're food. I think that's kind of torturous in a sense. Some of the things out there, if you ever watch like Earthlings, the documentary, or Dominion's another good one. There's a bunch of different ones out there. I don't want to get into like the conspiratorial. I'm not like vegan. I'm not militant. I'm not shoving my beliefs on people. I don't hate. I have family that are all meat eaters. I don't hate that. It's not my choice to do something, because it's just the choice I made is to respect other sentient beings. So with that said, I just think it's sometimes people get really upset with their religious views, and they think, I've been called evil, people, oh, you're evil for being vegan, or it's dark or evil, it's not respecting, this Godhead, this figure. Again, I'm not an atheist or a theist, so I don't have to align my belief structures with that, because that's not my thing, even though I'm, water baptized, born again, the Christian tradition. I was a little, went through the whole 9 yards, when I was a little kid. But the point is that I don't have to identify with things nowadays as an adult in that light. No, I'm not a little child. Nobody's making these decisions for me, so I have the right, if that thing, loves me, let's say if that thing was real, just hypothetically speaking, and it loved me, to understand that my, so-called heart of hearts, how I relate to certain things. And then I think that I can actually show more respect for those things as being creation, or as being created by something, given the fact, Fermi paradox, how obscure life is in the universe, I know there's been that discovery recently with that really hasn't been proven yet. But the point is this: is that there's been some really elaborate hoaxes out there. So that's what I'm going to go about and say about that. Those little aliens in Mexico. The point is this: is that it's kind of like the same thing with religion. You have certain things like aliens. This is a little side note, but people get God of the Gapish with that stuff too. So you have to be really careful. The point is this: is that just because you can't understand something, don't put the mysterious thing there. It's the Wendigo or whatever the hell it is. The Chupacabra is the one that did this. Don't be smart about stuff, your relationship with stuff. Anyway, the point is this: is that if there was some creator, it would understand. I'm not saying there is or isn't, but it understand how I relate to the world, and that's not to cause pain towards something. If it created there for me, for everybody, then why would I want to cut its head off or put it in a factory farm? Or even if I went to some religious ceremony and they killed it properly, they sacrificed it, it didn't suffer in any way, it wasn't fearful. Why would I want to do that anyway? Because there's so many other things. Isn't it more of a testament to something greater than yourself if you can think and figure out other sources of amino acids and things like other sources of nourishment? But anyway, just a thought. Anyway, that's that.